Who is your ideal client? You've got to know also who it isn't, but who is your ideal client? Who is your audience? Audience is key. And somebody already owns that audience. They could be Amazon own the audience, YouTube own the audience, Facebook, Instagram. They all own that audience, and they'll give you access to it if you're prepared to pay or do the hard yards and try and build something up organically. Google knows exactly where your audience is. So does Facebook. You just tell it who you want to get in front of, and they'll sell you that introduction. And as I said before, if you know what you're doing on pay-per-click marketing, it could be very profitable. It's never been any different. In the early days, radio owned the audience. The TV stations owned the audience, and they would sell that audience or access to that audience to people prepared to pay with their adverts. Newspapers own the audience. And if you want to reach the audience in a newspaper, they'll let you tell that audience that you exist. People who own the audience have the strength. The challenge with all of those media is that they're not that well targeted, and that's why they're struggling. That's why people like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they can really target and pinpoint that audience and get you in front today, quickly. But if you don't want to pay, you can put a website up that few people visit and certainly don't revisit. Now, I'm not against websites. I really am not. I think people need to be able to check something. But you know what? I think people spend too much money when they're starting in business on a website. It's not as necessary. I usually say, why do you need a website? What do you want it to do? Because most websites are glorified brochures. So the trouble with an audience is you might see it, but it's actually distracted. It's got issues itself. Your audience is not thinking about you. First of all, it doesn't know you. That's the first problem. And you've got to think, how am I going to stop that audience in the track and get attention? And that's the first thing you need to discuss about how are you getting the attention of your audience. Are you in front of the right audience? Half of the frustration in business is that we're talking to the wrong people. And so we're beginning to think, am I really any good at this? If you've got inherent skills and you're at the top of your game, you get in front of the right audience and you'll start to do business. The next thing you've got to do with the audience is grab their attention, stop the scroll, and get them to lean in to a conversation. I didn't say lean into a sale. That's the biggest problem. We try and sell our stuff too much. How many people on all you ever see on a social media feed is, this is what I do, this is what we offer, etc. No relationship there. 82% of all sales take place after the 7th touch. Doesn't mean to say that somebody today might say to you...
It's gone higher, hasn't it?
It probably is, but that was the average some years ago, and it could be higher, it could be lower. Somebody could be ready to buy your services right now because they've got a pressing problem. And they may have already researched, and by the way, people are researching you. They are looking, that's one of the benefits, say, of a website, but that's certainly a benefit of your reputation and how you establish that. That's because they're already on their journey. And most people you talk to are not even on a journey. They're not even aware they've got a problem or that anybody else can solve that problem. That's part of what you need to do. You need to lead into that conversation. And that's where the second bit comes in, is engage.